Okay, so in this episode, we're going to be looking at WooCommerce. So let's head into our back office. So for those of you that don't already know, WooCommerce is a free plugin that allows you to turn your website into a store. So as you can just see, if you click the WooCommerce tab on the side, it'll ask you to fill in some company information and talk you through the steps to set up. So let's follow the setup wizard. And click continue. You don't need to do this, you can if you want. They kind of track your data anyway, but I just click no thanks. Then you have to decide what industry you're in. So for CBD pod, we're going to be doing cosmetics. So we could either put it in health and beauty or other. So let's put it in health and beauty. We're going to be selling physical products. Some of you might be selling downloadable products, such as software. You can also click this. Don't worry if you've selected one and then a few months later you start selling downloadable products. You can always add those later. And then here are the other forms that they do, such as subscriptions, memberships, those kind of things. There are other plugins where you can get the free versions of this. So for now, we're just going to select physical products. And we're only going to display 4, so 1 to 10. And I always just click no for this because they ask you loads of questions, and it's really for their marketing information rather than yours. So out of everything here, we don't need this, and we don't really need Google Ads. If you want to have Google Ads later, you can always download the plugin, but with SiteKit that we're going to install, you can add this there. So we'll integrate that later. So we want market on Facebook, and it just helps you link your Facebook to WooCommerce and also WooCommerce Mailchimp, and I'll show you how to connect to your Mailchimp database. So at this point, it'll ask you whether you want to change your theme and give you a whole range of ones where you can pay for. However, if you change your theme here, it will change it for the whole of your website, and we want to continue with Ocean WP. So click that. Again, it'll ask you for some more kind of free plugin upgrades. If you're not part of a pod hosting plan, I'd recommend downloading Jetpack because it is quite useful. However, with the pod host plan, you get the free SG optimizer, and that can actually clash with the Jetpack plugin. So if you've got that in your back office, then just click no. If you want to download it, click yes. So we're going to click no. And that's the first step really of setting up your WooCommerce store. So we're just going to close this. And it will show you what you've got left to install. So we've still got add products, set up payments, tax, shipping, and personalize it. So I always tend to do products last. So let's focus on the settings in the back office first, and then we'll look at adding a product. So to do that, you can either click here and it will take you through the step-by-step, or it's much easier if you just head to settings on the left. Let me turn on my cursor. So as you can see here, all the information that we've already installed and inputted has already been allocated. So let's see what we've got to do. If you want to enable tax, then you can click, obviously, enable tax. We want to keep coupons, so if you ever offer discounts, that kind of thing. And that's more or less it for that. So let's click Save Changes. Let's get rid of some of these. Okay, so now let's head over to products. So we have two buttons here. This button, when they add a product to the cart, will automatically take them to checkout. And this one, Ajax, means that they can keep continuously adding products as they go. So most people go for this one. You can change the weight. So as our products are quite light, let's go for grams instead of kilos. I think centimeters are okay. I'm going to deselect product reviews because, again, I just personally don't like it when bots end up trying to comment on your products. If you do leave it on, it can be quite useful for SEO as well as give your customers a bit of kind of confidence about the products that they're about to buy. If you're going to do that, you just click reviews left by verified owners so you know that they're right, and you can either keep star ratings or not. So let's save changes. Let's have a look at our inventory now. So we want to enable our stock management, and this will tell you how long it will keep a product available for. And also send you email notifications. You can change the email address if you need to. Save changes. And as I mentioned before, you can include downloadable products. So here's some information on downloadables. If you are downloading stuff, I would always say require login to download. Just kind of helps you build a database. And of course, keep forced downloads in. Let's have a look at tags. So here you have to look at whether you want your prices to include tax or to exclude tax. So if you're selling as a retail store, you want your prices to include tax. But if you're selling a B2B, it's always good to have them exclude tax. We're going to pretend this is a retail store, so I'm going to click inclusive of tax. And of course, your tax needs to be based on the shipping address. So if you're selling products to America, for example, you don't want to be charging them VAT. Additional classes, we'll add those in a minute. You can also decide whether you want the prices in the shop to exclude or include tax. So we want ours to include tax in the shop. And the same in the cart. But again, if you were doing B2B, you would do it to exclude. And we can save the rest. Let's look at standard rates. So here we can add our tax categories. So say, for example, we have to pay 20% VAT on a product. If you don't, you just leave it blank and you select everything to exclude VAT. So we're going to put in our country code, which is GB. State code we can leave. Postcode also we can leave. The same as city. So our rate wants to be 20%. Priority 1, because it's the most important, and we'll put it in as VAT. Save changes. So now our standard rate for anything on our store is 20%. You can do multiple ones. So say if you live in a country where they have different tax codes in different areas of the country, or you know that if you export to a specific country, there's an additional charge, then you can add these to that area. So say if you exported to, say, Scandinavia, and you knew that there was going to be an extra 20% charge or 30% charge to export, you just create another row with Scandinavia and change it to 30%. So that every time they put in their customer information and they type in their Scandinavian address, it'll add an extra 30% onto their bill. Reduce rates. So these are for products, say for example, if you have a tax rate that excludes food. So there's a cheaper tax on food, so you only pay 10% rather than 20%. You can create these additional ones in here the same way as you did the other one. And as you add the products, you can actually select these sections. We don't have any of these, so we're going to leave these blank. And zero rates, you can do the same thing here. So let's take a look at shipping. So at the moment, we don't have anything in our shipping zones. So we're going to add a new one. So click Add Shipping Zone. And we're going to do local shipping first. So let's look at... So we're going to name that one local. And we ship to... United Kingdom. And we want to add our shipping method. So here you can add free shipping, local pickup, or flat rate. A lot of companies do free shipping, especially if you're selling retail. So if you click free shipping, that'll automatically give you a free shipping. Now, say for example, you want to have £5 shipping, but free shipping when they spend over £30. So we're going to add a flat rate. Edit that, put the cost at 5. And you can decide whether you want to charge tax or not on that. As we're selling direct to the retailers, to customers, I'm going to put no and hit Save Changes. And the free shipping, the requirements could be a minimum order amount, and then you put £30 and click Save Changes. Now, these are also set up in priority. So the top one is the highest priority. So if you have, for example, flat rate above free shipping, it'll automatically default to flat rate even if they've gone over £30. So if they go over £30 and you're offering free shipping, just make sure that the chargeable rate is at the bottom. Hit Save Changes. Shipping options. I mean, these can all really stay much of the same. You can hide the shipping costs until the address is entered, but either way, it will adjust. Shipping classes. Now, shipping classes is if you want to add, say, a heavier item. So say you were a builder's merchant and you have, products like nails, which obviously don't weigh a lot and are quite cheap to ship. And then you want to sell heavier products such as timber or bricks. Obviously, they'll have a higher shipping value. So it works the same way. You just add shipping class and continue through the setup process. Payments. Here you can add your PayPal and connect it that way. It's very easy. You just hit the toggle on and then you just click Setup and follow the instructions. However, I want to show you a great plugin that we use with a payment provider where you can actually, say for example, you sell £100 worth of products on your store, you actually get charged less than what PayPal will charge you. And what happens is you can apply for a credit card with it, and say you take £100 in your store. If you spend £100 on your card, you actually earn back all your commissions, which means that effectively your payments are zero. Your payment charges are zero. So I'll just quickly show you here. If you want to apply for this payment gateway, we set it up for you. We don't manage the payments. That's done with a third party. So if you head over to pinkorangedesigns.co.uk and then either go pricings and payment gateway or /payment-portal, and just scroll down. There's a quick form that you just fill out, send it to us, and we'll set the whole thing up for you and you'll get a notification. Here are the rates. So this is our payment partner that we use. So as you can see, our fees are, the fees that they charge are 2.76%, which is cheaper than PayPal's. There's no setup cost. The processing fees, again, are cheaper. But like I said, the most important thing is you can earn back all of your transaction costs. So we did an example here of if you pay £100 transaction, it'll only end up costing you 24p, whereas PayPal will cost you £3.20. Shopify will cost you £2.40 plus £24 a month. And WorldPay, which is another provider, will cost you £2.95 plus £19.95 a month. So as you can see, there's no monthly payments like Shopify and WorldPay, and it is far cheaper than PayPal. So I'd recommend looking into that. So we're going to show you how to install that. So once you sign up, we'll send you a plugin which you install. You'll get an email notification from the payment provider, and they will talk you through the setup of their back office. We don't have any access to your back office, so you know that all your information is secure. So let's upload that plugin now. So to add a plugin, again, we need to go add new. Now, because they've sent us this plugin, we need to upload a plugin rather than search for it. So we're going to choose file name. And here's the plugin there. Now you want to make sure that the plugin is a zip file. If it's not a zip file, you'll have to compress it because it won't be able to upload it to WooCommerce. It will just fail every time. So install, activate plugin. And there we go. So let's continue with the settings. So we're going to head back to payments. As you can see now, the plugins popped up here. Activate. And we're going to go to setup. Okay, so the important thing to see here is we're looking at this red bar here. So it says our credentials are not yet valid. So we want to enable the gateway. We want to disable this because we want to actually take payments rather than be in demo mode. You can be in demo mode if you want to just test it. And then you want to log into your payment provider and get your live client ID and also your live client secret. Now, I'm not going to log into the payment provider because obviously you'll see all my personal information. However, I'm going to just show you a quick article we have in our archives, which talks you through the whole step-by-step process. And it is very easy. You just need to locate settings, and you're basically halfway there. So here's the article. It's really quick and easy. As you can see, it's a very short article. You just need to locate your settings, locate your API access, and then scroll down to where it says WooCommerce credentials. And it's these credentials that you want, not the other lists. Sometimes there'll be a box here instead of your actual client secret, and say something along the lines of reveal client secret. You just click that and then it'll reopen that. I'm not going to show you what my client credentials are, so I've just skipped a little bit forward. At the bottom, you'll see an unticked box under advanced settings. You just want to click that to reveal it. And we're just going to change the wording slightly here to help our users. So you want to type in pay by debit or credit card. You want to also list the kind of cards that you're going to accept. We don't really want the logo to be present because that's just their marketing. And that's more or less it. Hit Save Changes. And then you get taken back to the top screen. And as you can see, instead of it being red, now everything's green, saying that our client ID is all activated. So we are good to go, which is great. So now if we head back to WooCommerce dashboard, we can see that we've just done these 3 ones here. So let's just do this last one because this one's quite quick. We're going to skip that. We don't want to create a custom page. We want them to display our logo. And we don't really want to store notice because it just appears at the bottom of the page and it makes your store quite cluttered and ugly. So let's complete task. So that's done. So we've done all the steps now except for adding a product. So let's look at that now. So again, you can either click Add My Products, or you can locate products on the left bar here. It's always best to come in through this way because obviously once you've added the one product, this will be ticked. So get into the habit of coming to products. And because we haven't got any products, nothing is showing just yet. So let's create a product. Okay, so I'm just going to copy and paste a lot of this text over just to kind of speed the process up a little bit. We're going to briefly cover SEO. We are going to cover it in more detail later on in the webinars that we put on. So for now, I'm just going to copy and paste the information over. So you type in the title of the product name here. Just going to show you a client of mine's page just to demonstrate where each product goes. So I'm going to use their descriptions just to search for a product now. So type in that one. Okay, so this is one of their travel mousses to make things a little bit easier. So this box here, this is the bulk of the information that Google will scan for. So when you're optimizing your products for SEO, this is the page that this is the area that you need to put in the most kind of detail. So as you can see here, I've just pasted in a very long text that goes over a lot of stuff. So it gives you information about the product. It has, the product's name in here, dotted around quite a few times. Any advantages, also backlinks, and most importantly, it's over 300 words, which can take a bit of time to get going, but it's always worthwhile doing. So if we look at this product, that bulk is actually, it appears at the bottom because the users might want to read through it, but it's not kind of at a glance, it may be too much. So at a glance, we want this text here, which just gives the customer a bit of an overview. It tells them what the products are, the sizes, and then kind of a brief description. So that box is actually at the bottom. So again, I'm going to paste that in. So we've got our text in now. And then next we want to look at how the page is laid out. So again, just like with when we're adding pages, we want to go to content layout. Now this time, instead of 100% full width, we just want full width. Title, and we'll remove that. So then we move to the Yoast score. Now, like I said before, we'll go into a bit more detail later about what a focus key phrase is and that kind of thing. But as you can see from the text I've put in, the readability is great. It's green all around, which is good. So now we want to make sure that the SEO score also reflects that. So I'm going to put in the focus key phrase. I'm going to change the SEO title. And add the meta description. Now you can also at this point add your own slug. Slugs that are associated with the focus key phrase are obviously better, but it will generate one automatically in the title's name. However, there are brackets at the end of this, so we're just going to make a nice short one. And as you can see there, our SEO score is in the green. There are, however, some more kind of advice that SEO is giving us that how we can improve our score on this page. If you want to spend lots of time kind of really diving into it and getting that score up, that's great. But for a product, I personally feel that, as long as it's in the green, you're doing okay. So next we want to look at the price. So if we just make up a price, let's say we're going to say this bottle's $16.95. It is taxable. and its standard rate tax. Now here you could also change the tax status. We can also put on a sale price if we want. And then next we want to add the inventory. So we want the SKU code. Let's put M for moose, 100 for the size. And that's that section done. As I said before, if you do sell virtual products and you didn't initially opt in, you can actually change it to a virtual product here and make it downloadable. But this is obviously a real product, so that goes in there. And then finally, we want to put it in a category. So if we create a category and put possibly skincare for that, add new. And there you can see sometimes this box jumps up and down, just keep scrolling to the top. And as you can see there, it's been added. We can also add product tags. These help Google kind of identify what it is that you're selling, and it can help categorize your website better. So if you're selling cosmetics, you want to use cosmetic tags so that Google can put your website into that category. So let's put cosmetics, skin, care. Because it's a moose, let's put tanning. And 3 is probably enough. So you just click add. Always make sure that you separate them with commas so it knows that they're individual tags. Then we want to add our products. So I've already got some product shots. If we look here, I've got these 4 products. Obviously, this isn't my brand. This is just a stock image brand. So we're just going to use these for the website. So again, we need to make sure that our images are the right size and also as small as possible. So this is, it's an okay size, but we can do a lot better. Now, you can either drag it into Photoshop if you've got Photoshop and obviously make it the right dimensions. And if you missed the previous video on how to make it smaller, I'll quickly show you now. So obviously once your images are the right dimensions, just click and drag them all here. As you can see, 1.3 megabytes is far too big for a product image. So we just let this run its course and let it compress all the images down. So as you can see here, we've saved 65% on our memory that we would have used if we hadn't have used this. Now looking back over it, I can still see that they are quite high. So if I was building this for a client or building a site actually for myself, I would actually look at the files and possibly make them smaller. You want to be aiming for between 100 kilobytes to kind of 150, I'd say, for product images, because they are quite large but not humongous. And there tends to be a lot of information. So we click download. And this will give us our product image file. So all I do is I just drag them back into the folder and replace them with more appropriate file sized images. Okay, so the next bit's super easy. Select the images, drag them on and just let them load. Okay, so once your images have loaded, you can see them all here. Again, you need to make sure that the alt text actually matches what your key phrase is. So as you can see here, our key phrase is self-tan, CBD self-tan. So we're going to copy that, jump back into product images, and let's just pretend this is the self-tan one. And we'll set that as the product shot image. So again, if you scroll down, you'll be able to see what it looks like. And yeah, it looks pretty good. I think, again, if I was doing it for a real client, I'd maybe crop it a little bit nicer so you could see the whole, the whole image. But for the purposes of this, it's okay. And then select publish. And now that that's published, you can either preview changes there. Let's have a quick look at how our website looks on the front end. This is our site logo, which will change in a minute, so let's just ignore that. So as you can see, it looks very nice and clean, and the image is far too big, because when you zoom in, you've still got incredible detail. But yeah, nice and clean. You've even got the price here, because we put it on sale, there's a cross through it, and the customer can add as many as they want to the cart. And you've got more of the information down here. So I'm going to jump back into the back office again, and I'm going to quickly replicate this a few more times. So we've got a couple more products to play with. Okay, so I've just jumped ahead slightly and created a few different products. So as you can see in the product lists, we've got the name of the product, the SKU, which you can change, and the price. And so I've just put the price here. These two are on sale, which is why they've got a line crossed through them. So it's all good. Everything's got the right tags. However, the SKUs aren't correct. So a quick way of changing that is just go quick edit, and you can change the SKU there. You can change lots of other things like the name, the price, the sale price, whether it's taxable or not, and also what category you want it to be in. You can also save them as drafts for later. And also if you have someone that's managing the shop and you just build them, you can also build them so that they're pending for review. And then your shop manager comes in, double checks everything's correct, and then can publish them. So that's that. As you can see, it's very easy and quick to set up your products for WooCommerce. So let's head back to WooCommerce and see what else we need to do to set up our store. So everything's set up. WooCommerce is nice and happy with us, which is great news. So if we head over to our store, as you can see, the front end, there isn't anything there yet. So let's type in our shop. And this is the default of how it looks. You've got your things that are on sale, got your prices, you can add it to cart. But we could do a little bit better. So we want to get rid of this banner for a start. So if we jump back into our back office, and just like we did before, head over to pages. Now, we've created 2 pages because later on we're actually going to build our own store manually. But I'm going to show you how to set up the default shop first. So go back into edit. Close this down. So content layout is fine the way it is at default. And we want title disable. Now that will disable that title, this title here that runs across. So let's have a look at that. As you can see, it's gone now. So this is pretty good. Obviously, we want to look at how we can maybe change these colors to match our color scheme. The font's okay, and it's just a very kind of simple store. What I'll show you now is how to add extra widgets to the side. And these extra widgets on the side here allow you to create sections where you can, for example, filter products by price or category, and this page will change here. So let me show you how to do that. So again, we're going to head back to our WordPress dashboard, and we're going to look for appearance and then widgets. So as you can see here, we've got WooCommerce sidebar. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a few widgets to this sidebar that will then be located here. And that'll help us sort through all the products on the side here. And it's particularly useful if you have a lot of SKUs. So we're going to look for product search. which is here. Click the drop down, make sure WooCommerce sidebar is selected, and then click Add Widget. And that will be added to the side there. We don't really need a title. Next we're going to add, so just click Done. Next we're going to add filter products by price. So again, let's have a little scroll down till we find filter products by price. Make sure it's selected at WooCommerce sidebar and add your widget. This is fine, we don't need to make any changes. Finally, we want to add product categories. Find product categories, add widget. And again, we don't need any changes, so we just hit done. And that should automatically save it. So now if we head back over to your shop and click refresh, you can see we've got all the products here. So we can search for example, we're going to search for eye. And that'll give us eye drops, as you can see there. Now, for example, we want to filter by price. So let's select products that are under maybe £20, because that's our budget. Again, it will just show you products that are under £20. And if you've got several different categories, you can toggle through the categories. I would try and keep it as clutter-free on this side as you can. There are a lot of widgets. The reason for that is because in your mobile view, it looks fine on desktop, but in your mobile view, having all this information stacked at the top as the user scrolls down can be quite off-putting. So as default, it will show all your products first and then this sidebar here. However, in the shop, we want it switched so that we can search for the products first and then have all the products below. So to do that, we go into Customize, locate WooCommerce, head over to Archives, and then come down to where it says Mobile Sidebar Order. So you want to make sure Sidebar is first, and then that will put this section at the top of the mobile view, and it will put this section underneath it. Click Publish. So now we're going to have a look at changing some of these colors around because they don't match our color theme. Let's go to Advanced Styling. So you've got the on sale background here. Let's make it a little bit more green. Oh, a bit too green. There we go. That's a bit better. And we want to change maybe the font color here. So head back to the main page, then head down to typography. Scroll down to WooCommerce product price, and let's change the font family to, I think the font family can stay. Let's change the font weight to semi-bold. And we'll do the same for the rest. Just gives it a bit more weight. So that's okay. Let's click Publish. So let's head back to our back office now. Next, we're going to set up the Mailchimp integration. So head to WooCommerce, Mailchimp. Okay, so we're going to reconnect an existing Mailchimp account. So if we head over to Connected Account, This will open a pop-up window where you can put in your username. And you just click allow. Everything's already keyed in. You can just make sure that everything's correct. Next step, state. Let's put in a city. Make sure everything's filled in, and phone number. Let's put in a fake one. And again, you don't really need to change much here. The basic information is pretty good. Start sync. And there you have it. So now anytime someone signs up with their account or makes a payment and creates an account at checkout, it'll automatically get added to your Mailchimp database. And that's pretty much all the WooCommerce back office setup, and you're ready to go. If you ever want to add coupons downline, you can create coupons here and offer discounts. It's now moved to marketing. Or for example, if you want to set up your Facebook, I don't actually have a Facebook for this fake business, but again, it works very similar to the way Mailchimp works. You just follow the clicks and step-by-step buttons. In the next episode, we'll be looking at how to create headers and make your site look a bit more appealing.